Eden Prairie brought its defending champions to Fridley. Felt like a big game. The Eagles of Totino-Grace opened this one. Kyle Halverson on the keeper. And then it was time to start trading punches. Eden Prairie answered.
Totino had the ball again, but defensive lineman Connor Novgor snags it at the line for the interception.
Alec Hetherington is built for short yardage. That's 6.
On the very next play from scrimmage, EP had another pick. This time it was Nebraska recruit J.D. Spielman who runs it back for 6. After the 2-point conversion, Eden Prairie led 14-7. What's new?
J.D. Spielman's dad, Rick, to the Vikings game. He is the general manager. He'll have to watch the tape of this one. J.D. with the interception turned into a touchdown. He is so quick, anticipates so well.
7-6. Halverson comes through. Whoop, no he doesn't. Picked off J.D. Spielman. 37-yard touchdown. The Nebraska recruit puts EP up.
Just before the game was delayed and just before the half, Gayflor Flomo scored for Totino-Grace. Hour and 45 delay. Eden Prairie leads at 21-14 in the third quarter.
With the handoff here, he will go 45 yards for the only touchdown the Skippers would score on their first possession of the game. He would then score the 2-point conversion, and who would have guessed that would be the deciding points after the first possession of the game, 8-6 Minnetonka.
Champlin throwing into the wind. Chad Costello connects with Eldridge Joyce. Great catch from Eldridge. Still 8-zip Tonka. They're inside the Champlin 10, but Dan Gripe's pass is deflected and picked by Deontay Bronson. The Rebels give themselves another chance, but the Skippers' defense also made the plays. Harrison Skane with a great tackle on the slip screen. Minnetonka hangs on to win the defensive battle, 8-6 the final.
The Wayzata Trojans charged the field as they took on Blaine to kick off the 2015 season. Wayzata's defense started hot. They forced a fumble on the 5th play of the game to send the offense out with a short field. Then it was Foster Conzit pounding it in to cap off a 44-yard drive with the first points of the game and the season to put the Trojans up early.
The highlights here, his second of the day, and Wayzata goes on to beat Blaine this afternoon. The final score was 42-23.
In this case, Jake Marsh on the rollout to Tyler Diddler. Wayzata beats Blaine 41-23. Even
water this afternoon. How about this touchdown catch? Dan Stallhut. What a great grab in the end zone for the touchdown. Egan leads the Ponies 16-0. Jaden Plonsky would score from short yardage, and the Wildcats win today over Stillwater. 30-13 was the final there.
Played Lakeville South and South struck first. Will Heller to Anthony Vogt. 2 schools with veteran coaches. Cretin-Derham Hall answered with a sneak from Daniel Ryan. Then it got fun. Casey O'Brien was diagnosed with cancer 2 years ago and is still getting treatment. He held for the extra point. A monumental moment for a young man that has battled his way back. His team won 21-12, and Casey just keeps fighting back.
Well, he's an incredible kid. The challenge that he's had and what he's had to do to get to tonight, and most people know he's not out of the woods yet. In fact, he checks in tomorrow for some additional chemo, and we'll keep the battle going, I can assure you that. But he's an incredible kid, and tonight's a special night for him, too.
Defense made big plays to hold the scoring in check. Blake Wachholtz with a blitz and sack of Daniel Ryan. Turnabout is fair play. Zachary Panic gets the Heller and drops him for a loss. The Raiders benefited from a big unsportsmanlike penalty. Thomas Bradley takes the screen, gets a good block, and bolts into the end zone. The Raiders win the opener over Lakeville South.
Ryan on the screen pass to Thomas Bradley Jr. They beat the rush. They get the 25-yard score. Cretin goes on to win tonight in a lightning-delayed game.
Good going, Casey. We stopped by St. Thomas Academy to catch the cadets of Montemita. It looked a lot like games in the past between these two successful programs. A lot of it played at the line of scrimmage. The rain and lightning shut it down shortly after we arrived. Our correspondent, Frank Vasilero, just called us during the third quarter. St. Thomas leads it 6-0. Holy Angels went to the island to take on De La Salle and put on a show against a team that was the state runner-up last season. Joseph Heimbold to Danny Hoffman. The Stars just kept coming. Tony Kraus finds his way off the pitch for 6. They led 34-0 at the half. Holy Angels goes on to win it 41-12. Watch Robbinsdale Armstrong quarterback Collis Barber closely against Chanhassen. He keeps this off the old Beer Series, then takes it himself. fun football when it's working.
But his best play was this pass in the third quarter. He showed off his touch, finding True Thompson, Daryl's kid. He went up and got it in the corner of the end zone. That made it 24 unanswered points.
And it doesn't matter because he can motor. And he did all day. Look at him taking over as he gets the corner. Armstrong routes Chan 38-10.
Head coach for Eastridge is Dan Fritzy, who is the son of Dave Fritzy. Dan taking over that program. Big interception for Lakeville North rather. Tyler Liska, the pick six, and they go on to win 21-7 over Eastridge in a hard-fought game.
The Hornets with the first big play of the game. A.J. Nelson takes a punt in his own territory. He breaks a few tackles and weaves his way inside the Andover 30 before he's pummeled by the punter, Alex Probert.
Brock Boltman at quarterback, his father the coach, to A.J. Nelson on a nicely executed play. Andover got behind and could not get close enough.
The Huskies rally back. First, a big fourth down conversion. Jeremy Newman to Jacob Greer. This set up a Greer touchdown run. In the second quarter, Newman connects with Kyle Hoppy to take the ball inside the Edina 10. Next play, Greer takes a direct snap, goes left. He breaks the plane. Andover leads 12-7, but they could not hold off Edina. Hornets win it.
This might be the play of the game. Kickoff return by Isaiah Hall for Apple Valley against Forest Lake. 89 yards on the touchdown. They're not going to get him. The Eagles led 19-7. They go on to win today on the road. 31-14 was the final.
Today, first quarter, Spring Lake Park QB Zach Ogiel taking off 73 yards after he calls his own number. That is a long quarterback keeper. Spring Lake Park wins on the road today, 28-21.
Henry at Southwest. Brennan Hawkins on the quarterback keeper and a touchdown. Henry kept answering, kept swinging. Quentin Skinner to Braylon Wheat. Throw it up for grabs. Who knows what might happen? Little stumble. Guess what? He's gone. Henry wins it over Southwest. 27-20.
Let's begin in Burnsville. The Blaze hosting Roseville. The silver-helmeted Raiders make the first mistake. The fumble and the punt is recovered by Burnsville, and they are in business. That sets up an easy touchdown by Steph Olson Jr. Olson scored the first two touchdowns. Roseville threatened late in the first quarter, but Ricky Jackson chases down the Raider quarterback. No points on the board for Roseville. 13-0 Blaze in the second quarter. They go to the up back. Jordan Leak. He goes 13 yards up the middle for the touchdown. 28-0 Burnsville with the home opener. Down at Eastview High School, the Lightning got off to a great start against Woodbury. Tiante McGlynn with a great first quarter. He slips and slides through the Royals' defense, scoring from 15 yards out, put Eastview up 7-0. Late first quarter, McGlynn again, almost rhymes. Number 4 goes in to make it 14-0. McGlynn scores. Woodbury forced a safety early in the second. Then they get on the board by tossing the ball around. Brady Mundahl moves forward and fires left to Jake West. Jake heads towards pay dirt without much trepidation. It's 14-9. Woodbury gets the ball back, and again Mundahl drops back to throw. He finds Andy Wheel in the right flat. Wheel scores the go-ahead touchdown in the first half. Woodbury scored on the final play of the game to pull off a big road victory, 23-21. Another close game at Rosemount. The Irish producing big gaps on the first drive against White Bear Lake. Austin Valenzuela rumbles all the way down to the 5-yard line before he is tripped up. Blake Storholm would cap off the drive 3 plays later. The Irish take a 7-0 lead. White Bear Lake wasted no time to send a reply. First play from scrimmage, Josiah Majest takes the handoff and goes 65 yards up the middle and to the house. Game tied at 7. Bears would actually lead 13-7, but the Irish score the final 9 points to win the game, 16-13. Coon Rapids headed out to Hopkins High School for an afternoon get-together Saturday. The get-together turned into a one-sided affair quickly. After a short kick, the Royals banged their way down to the one as Jamichael Ellis carried on the next play for the score, and it's 7-0. Following possession from the 44, nice pitch and catch from Oscar Johnson-Dorothy to wide receiver Dion Campbell, 37 yards to the 7. Next play, JaMychal Ellis scores his second touchdown of the first quarter. Hopkins up 14-0. They get the ball on their third possession of the season, and they make it 3 for 3. This 76-yard toss and run from Johnson Dorothy was all the Cardinals could handle. They take a 21-0 first quarter lead, and they never look back. Deanne Campbell goes the distance. Final score, Hopkins 42, Coon Rapids 14. At North High School, the Polars making an early statement in the world of Minneapolis schools. They hosted Washburn and took control early. Tyler Johnson is one of the most sought-after athletes in Minnesota. He eludes the rush and fires a strike to Azric Rogers. This sets up the first score of the game. Big Corey Randall bowls right up the middle for a touchdown, 8-0 North. Johnson then went back up top for the next two touchdowns. He fires to Isaac Johnson for the touchdown. Johnson to Johnson again later, first quarter. North lost in the Class A semis a year ago. They are loaded. Tyler Johnson can play defense too. Here the pick off the Washburn pass. North goes on to win big over the Millers in the opener, 42-8.
The Mustangs got out to a 21-0 lead in the first half as both teams fought the wind and rain. In the second half, Farmington used their ground game to score the first points. QB Cole Heinrichsen took it up the middle for the score. After lightning forced everyone out of the stadium for delay, Moundsview was back in action. They drove down the field and Jack Graham ran it in from the 1. Mustangs win